Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us analyze and understand what is this elasticity. So in this video, we learn elasticity. So what do we learn? Elasticity. Okay. So now first question is what is this elasticity? Understanding to understand it is very easy when we analyze this concept by using real life example. Is it right? Yeah. So let us see with example. So now let us assume I have a company and I hosted my website in some servers. How this will be and how users can access my website generally. Initially, users send me the request. So whenever I draw this, you just simply remember it like a load balancer. What is this? This is a load balancer. This is a load balancer. Okay. What actually these users do? Users actually initially request. What does this users do? Initially request. What do they request? They request my load balancer. Now this request clients what they do request. Okay. Initially request sent from client. Where? From client. Okay. So now the request sent from client. First, where it reaches, sir, it reaches to my load balancer. Where it reaches to my load balancer. Okay. Then the request sent to where, sir? Then the request sent to web servers. Where? So where my request sent next? To web servers. Okay. Now let us draw some web servers. This is a web server. Let me assume this is one more web server and this is one more web server. Let's say. So now what happens based on so how my request is sent to web server based on what method? Based on round robin method of distribution, my request got sent to whom? Web servers. Okay. So based on the round robin method, my request got sent to my web servers on the load balancer. Okay, it is sending the request. My load balancer will sending the request based on the which method? Round robin method. It was sending the request to my web server. Okay. Now during festival days, obviously my web servers are getting more requests. Is it? Yeah. So these servers are not sufficient, right? Yeah. Since I'm getting more number of requests during festival days, are these web servers sufficient to me? No. So what I need to do? I need to I what is the need to me now during these festival days? During only festival days, what I need to do? I need to again increase the web servers. Let me draw few more web servers here because whatever the available web servers, those are not sufficient to me. So that's why I need few more web servers during these festival days. Okay. So let's say I have launched these as well during festival season and This load balancer again sending the traffic to these web servers. What are the new web servers which was generated? For them also the load balancer is sending traffic. Let us assume like that. Okay. So now the question is this is this load still same for all the days? That means my question is, if I check other than these festival days, if I check other than these festival days, then what about my traffic? It is obviously less, right? Yeah. Since the traffic is less, so in those days, do I need those extra those extra web servers? Now the question is, do I need these extra web servers? Since there is no traffic, do I need these extra web servers? Don't need. So what I need to do? I just need to reduce the web servers. I just need to reduce the web servers. I just need to again reduce the web servers. What are the created? Those I want to again, what I need to do? I again need to reduce those web servers, right? Yeah, I need to reduce those web servers. This, sir, during festival days, what you have done, you just increased the web servers because the available web servers are not sufficient. That's why you increased the number of web servers. Now, what happens in other days? In other days, in other days, due to less traffic, due to less traffic, what you have done, you again reduced the servers. So, what is this increasing and decreasing, sir? What is this increasing of web servers and what is this reducing of web servers? Do we call this as anything? What do we call this in cloud? So, what do we call this in cloud? We are just increasing the web servers whenever we require, and we are just reducing the servers. What are the web servers? Whenever those web servers are not required. Since we are changing these web servers based on my need, what I'm doing, I'm just increasing or decreasing my web servers. So that's why that increasing or decreasing of web servers, we call it as elasticity. So now let us write that in a let us write that as a point. What is this elasticity, sir? So what is this elasticity? So what is this elasticity? Elasticity is nothing but elasticity is nothing but increasing or decreasing. So increasing or reducing is nothing but decreasing of web servers is nothing but we call it as elasticity in cloud. So what do we call this? We call this as elasticity in cloud. So I hope you found this is an important point. So you need to remember this. Now you understood what is this elasticity. Elasticity is nothing but increasing or decreasing of servers. We call it as elasticity. Now my question is, since we are going to use AWS, right? We are going to use AWS. Okay. Then I need to perform this elasticity in AWS, right? Yeah. So now how how AWS achieves how AWS achieves this elasticity. So how AWS achieves this elasticity is the question now. since we are going to use AWS, so now the question is how AWS is going to achieve this elasticity. So how AWS is going to achieve this elasticity, sir? So AWS is going to achieve this elasticity by using by using by using auto scaling. By using what? Auto scaling. Remember this new word since it is very important to you. How AWS is going to achieve the elasticity? How AWS is going to achieve this elasticity, sir? By using what? Auto scaling group. By using auto scaling group. Since it is an important point, I can put it in a yellow color box. So now in future, this is very important concept. What is this? Auto scaling. Auto scaling is very important concept. That is, even we are increasing our servers and or you can say reducing or decreasing of our servers. So this is very important in future. We are going to perform this in AWS cloud. I will show you directly how we can do this in AWS by using lab in future. So it is very important you to remember this word. What is this? Auto scaling. So now let us question, what is this auto scaling? What is this auto scaling, sir? So what is this auto scaling? We say whenever we say scale in and whenever we say scale out and scale in, then we say it is an auto scaling. Scale out and scale in. Scale out and scale in. What is auto scaling, sir? Scaling out as well as scaling in. We call this as auto scaling. So what do you mean by scale out, sir? Scale out stands for scale out means increasing. Scale out means what, sir? Scale out means increasing. Okay. So now again the question is, what is this scale in? Scale in means scaling in, that is nothing but decreasing. So here what we are increasing, sir? Servers. During where? Whenever I have a need, that is during, in this example, during festival, I have need of increasing my servers. That is nothing but scale out. And whenever there is a need of reducing my servers, then in that case, since we are decreasing, you can even say this as reducing. Reducing is same as decreasing. So we can even say that like that as well. Okay. So whenever I require scale out, then what I need whenever I require increasing, that means nothing but scaling out. I need to perform scaling out by using auto scaling. And whenever I require decreasing or else reducing, then by using auto scaling, I need to scale in my resources. What is the resource that I am using here, sir? The resource that I am using here is, since servers we are using, what are the servers that we going to create in AWS, sir? We are going to create servers as instances. We call servers as instances in AWS, and we are going to create those servers by using EC2. So those EC2 instances, we are going to scaling out, that is nothing but increasing, or scaling in, that is nothing but decreasing. Based on my requirement, I am doing scaling out as well as scaling in by using what? By using what? Auto scaling. Must remember this word auto scaling, since it is very important to you in future. We are going to show you how practically we are going to reduce or increase, that is nothing but how we are going to scale in. What are the servers that I have, how we can going to scale in, that means reduce the current servers, or else scale out, that means increase the servers. We are going to see that in future lab directly. Okay, I hope you understood what is elasticity, and you even observed, you even analyzed how this will be, and how users can access my website generally, and how this elasticity is needed for my web servers. You see and analyzed all the thing. And how do we achieve this elasticity in AWS? You have seen it is done by using this elasticity is done by using auto scaling in or AWS. So now let us see how many types of, let us see this elasticity types, or else you can even say this elasticity is mainly happens in two ways. Types of elasticities, or else you can say you can classify these elasticity as types, types of elasticities, or else you can even say that, what do we can say, we can even say that this elasticity is mainly happening in two ways. This elasticity is mainly happens in how many ways? Two ways. So what are the two ways and how it was happening? Which elasticity is best? And currently cloud is, which elasticity is cloud, which elasticity is using cloud for which operation? It is very essential for us to learn. So now let me tell what are the two ways to achieve this elasticity. So I said you know there are two ways to achieve this elasticity. One way is horizontal scaling. What is that? Horizontal scaling. By using scaling only we achieve this elasticity. So one way is horizontal scaling, and coming to another way, the another way is vertical scaling. What is that another way? Vertical scaling. So let us see how it is going to happen. So these are the two types of scalings, that is horizontal scaling is one thing and vertical scaling is one thing. So, so sir, can you tell us how this horizontal scaling goes? So now how do we do this horizontal scaling? Normally, can you tell me how this horizontal scaling happens? So now let us see how this horizontal scaling happens. Let me say I have, this is one web server, and this web server is not sufficient for me. So during festival days, so what I need to have another web server. This is even not sufficient to me, so I need to have one more web server. Like this, we are just increasing the web servers. So based on my need, How many web servers do I require? Those many, I need to create my web servers and I need to put them in my auto scaling group. You can even say that I need to provide those web servers to my load balancer so that those web servers even available to my customer. So to achieve the traffic, to achieve the need of providing solution, or else you can say response to my traffic, what I need to have more web servers. So instead of removing the current web server, we are not removing any web server here, we are just providing one more web server. And if still my traffic is more, then we are again placing one more web server. Then what we are doing here, let us write in a single simple words. We are just scaling. We are just scaling out. Scaling out is nothing but increasing my web servers. We are just scaling out my web servers. How this scaling out happens? How this scaling out happens? Scaling happens. How this scaling happens? This scaling happens by increasing, or else you can say rising the number of servers. Rising the number of servers. You can say, since we are rising web servers, we can say we are just increasing the number of servers. So now again the question is, do I am changing the capacity of servers? Do I am changing the capacity of servers? No, I am not changing server capacity. I am not changing server capacity. So now let's have a question. What is this capacity, sir? So what we are not changing. Now let us see what is this capacity is. Capacity is nothing but whatever the CPUs we are using, and for a server, the capacity is nothing but whatever the CPUs and whatever the RAM and whatever the storage we are using and whatever the database we are using and so on, whatever the resources present in a single server, that is nothing but we can say capacity. Capacity is nothing but resources of server. Resources of server, we can say it as capacity of my what, we can say that as capacity of my server. We are not changing the capacity in horizontal scaling. We are just putting few more servers which are available to my load balancer so that these servers can be accessed by my load balancer. Eventually, if load balancer can able to access my servers, then the traffic which was sent from the user, or you can say client, which was sent to these web servers as well. So that's why I can able to, in that way I can able to manage my what traffic. I can able to manage my traffic. What are the traffic which was increased, that I can able to manage in that way. So let us have a box for this. Since this is a sub concept, I'm just putting it in a box. Now again the question is, how do I scale in vertical scaling? How do I scale in vertical scaling? So let us say this is my server one. Now what happens, many number of clients are accessing the server. So in that case, what I need to provide a large capacity server, or you can say I need to provide, in addition to this server, I need to provide another server, right? In horizontal scaling, what we done, we just we did not change the existing server. We just increased the number of servers. We just increased the number of servers. So that's why I can able to answer my requests. I can able to send my responses to my all my requests. In the similar way, here in the vertical scaling, what we have done is, what we are going to do is, this is a small server. Whatever the capacity, that is nothing but resources of this server is not sufficient. Whenever you say this, the resources of this server is not sufficient in this vertical scaling, then what we are going to do is, we are just going to we are just going to remove this, whatever the previously existing server. We're just going to remove that previously existing server, and then we again need to launch, we again need to provide we again need to provide a new server with high capacity. So what we are providing? A new server with high capacity, that is nothing but resources of my server. So this high capacity server can able to respond to all my clients. Yeah, this high capacity server can able to respond to all my clients. In that way, i can able to I can able to provide response to my clients. So this is nothing but vertical scaling. In this vertical scaling, so now let's write this vertical scaling in a single in simple words, so that it will be very easy to us. So what happens in this vertical scaling? In this also, we are just scaling happens. In this also, scaling only happens by how by we are just increasing the capacity of server, increasing the capacity of server by what we are doing. We're just increasing the capacity of server by just replacing. We're just replacing what we're replacing? The existing, whatever the existing server we have, that we are replacing with more capacity server, more capacity server. So now my question is, if my server is having very high capacity and my traffic is very low, then do I need this very high capacity server? No, right? So I don't need this high capacity server. At the time, what I need to do, by using which servers I need to replace this large capacity server? I need to replace this with less capacity server. So that means we are replacing our server by using more capacity server or less capacity server. Okay. So in this way, we are just scaling scaling out, or else we can say scaling in our servers. When our capacity needed, we are just scaling out. In vertical scaling, we are just scaling our capacity and we are replacing the existing server. In horizontal scaling, whenever we are getting lot of traffic, then what we are increasing? We are increasing number of servers. This is nothing but scaling out. What is this? This is nothing but scaling out, since we are increasing. Now, when there is a need of less number of users are coming, let me say very less number of let me say the special festival gonna finished today. Now what happens? From tomorrow onwards, the traffic of clients who are using my website are going to reduce. Then what I need to do? I need to provide less servers, not more servers I need. So I need to reduce the servers, right? How do I reduce? In horizontal scaling, how the reducing will happen? It just removes this server and just removes this server and provide how many servers which are needed, those many only. We just reducing our servers, we just removing our servers. What are the current servers I have, I'm just removing those servers, that's it. I'm not removing the existing server. That means the availability of the server is always present. In horizontal scaling, server is always available. Whenever we scale out, that means increase number of servers, or else whenever we decrease number of servers, always there is an existing of servers, so server is available always. Now let us see the scaling. Scale in this vertical scaling. How this happen? In this, if I want to scale in, then what I need to do, I just need to remove this current server. And what I need to provide, I need to provide a server, I need to provide, you can say, launch. We call providing as launching. What do we call providing? In this cloud environment, we call this launching as providing. So we just need to provide a small capacity server instead of this large capacity server. So here, the time gap in between launching this server and removing the existing server will lead to what? A small unavailability. A few minutes of what? Unavailability. So this will become a bit unavailable. So this vertical scaling will be unavailable for few seconds. For some time, you can say, while removing the existing server and launching, right? So we are removing existing server and launching new server. So that's why this vertical scaling becomes unavailable for some time. Whereas, can you say, is this horizontal scaling will be unavailable for any time, any moment of time? No, right? So this is always available. So this horizontal scaling is always available. Servers are always available in this horizontal scaling. Whereas coming to vertical scaling, what happens? I have a bit of unavailability for me for some time during removing my existing server and launching a new server. So now can you tell me, when do we use this horizontal scaling and when do we use this vertical scaling? So can you tell me, does my client feel wow when my server is not responding to him? Does they feel wow when my web server is not responding to me, not responding to my clients? No, right? My clients don't like unavailability of my web server. So during launching more number of web servers, then what do I need to use? I need to use this horizontal scaling. So what is this? Launching of web servers. During launching of web servers, what is best fit for me, sir? Horizontal scaling. Even this vertical scaling is not currently not providing by most of the cloud providers, since it leads to some unavailability. Cloud providers avoid that unavailability of their servers. They just using this horizontal scaling for launching their websites. Now, sir, can you tell me, where do we use this vertical scaling? Whenever we are launching is nothing but creating. Whenever we are developing is nothing but launching only. All the words will comes under same sentence. Now, whenever we are launching the databases, whenever I'm launching the databases, I need to use I need to use this vertical scaling. So whenever we are launching databases, what do we need to prefer, sir? This vertical scaling. Why, sir? Why don't we go for horizontal scaling? Since maintenance of whole database will lead to high capacity, right? So more number of requests came and high capacity, high storage and database maintenance. So during that moment of time, maintaining much more servers with higher capacity is not good, right? So to providing the response, one server with high amount of backend database is good, right? In those cases, we need to go for this vertical scaling. Sir, can you tell me during servers, during web servers, which at what time we use this vertical scaling? If we go for a standalone application, I'm again telling, if we go for standalone application, since we are using less number of servers, we are going to use this vertical scaling at that moment of time. Only during that particular moment of time while launching our servers, we use this vertical scaling. Except all the cases, we are using horizontal scaling to reduce unavailability. That means we are providing highly available servers. So that's why we are using horizontal scaling only. So I hope you understood totally elasticity. We introduced you the elasticity, what is this elasticity and how it happens, and in AWS how do we do this elasticity, based on which service we do, and what are the types of elasticities are there while launching our servers, that we have discussed, and which is more efficient, and how, what is better for launching which servers. You are getting an idea, I think so, and which is highly available and which is not highly available type of elasticity. Everything you get to notice and you got an idea, and you even know the technical term, that is launching. What is launching? That is nothing but developing servers. While developing servers, we call that as launching servers, or else servers we call them as instances. So launching instances we call at the time of launching in directly lab. So we are going to see the practical in future. This theory will be very helpful to you to understood how do you build the architecture in AWS. I hope you understood this video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye.